On this YouTube channel, I have about 500 videos already. In one of the podcasts or playlists that I've created, I'm doing stories from my life. I mean, every single video is something from my life, but I'm kind of trying to do a chronological order of things that have happened to me throughout my life. And I had to create chapters, because I was born in one place, I grew up in a different place, I lived in a third place, then I moved to a fourth place, then fifth, sixth, seventh, place. And one of the chapters, the third one, I believe, is from my time in military high school or military academy in Zagreb, Croatia, where I was from 1990 to 1991 after the war started. Cheers. So it's very difficult, even for me, to keep track of what is going on. But this particular story, this episode, deals with that period of time after I graduated from my elementary school and I was accepted to the most prestigious military college, military academy in former Yugoslavia, in the capital city of now Croatia, Zagreb, which was, miles and miles away from me. I was born in Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Zagreb is about 300, 400 kilometers from my hometown, which is nothing now comparing to what I've done. I've traveled the whole world. But at that time, to a 15-year-old kid leaving his home and moving to a different province to go to a military college, it was a huge thing. I speak a little bit about that time in that episode that I will link down in the comments below. It was amazing. I really was ready to leave my home. I had a very difficult childhood due to cultural, religious, spiritual, sexual issues. I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to be myself, but I mean, growing up in former Yugoslavia, you had to be a certain way. You're born with this identity. That you're told this is your name, this is your nationality, this is your religion, this is your family, and you're like, "Oh, can I choose something else?" My kids always joke about it, man, if I had a choice, I'd choose a different father, at least somebody who had hair. But I mean, that's kind of what it is, that's what life is all about, If you believe in something called soul contract, we actually create our own lives beforehand. This is the experience that we want to have in order to achieve certain lessons, certain ways of thinking. I mean, in order for for somebody to understand life, they have to go through these three different elements of being a victim, being a villain, and being a watcher, and to truly understand a whole crime or whole idea or the experience, you have to see it from different perspectives. You have to be in the position of the victim, in the position of the villain, and in the position of the watcher. And only then you can judge the experience for what it is and get the lesson from it. I wish I could see the time. Yes, it's already been 4 minutes into the video. I haven't even started talking about it. It doesn't matter. I was able to be accepted to this school, and I got a letter. I remember when I received the letter, and I pried it out from my mailbox, almost breaking my fingers, and it was an acceptance letter. I was the happiest man alive, knowing that I will be given a chance to do something. And I did. I went to Zagreb. It was a very difficult time. I was not a physically fit individual. But I had a high intellect. According to some IQ test scores, I was the second ranking student and the person that was higher ranking than me and I used to play chess. Without the chessboard, we could basically imagine a whole chessboard and make moves and do this over a period of time without even forgetting the chessboard or the moves. There was a lot of different things going on within our heads. Mind you, at that time also I discovered drugs and alcohol, and I think I've changed my mind quite a bit because of that. In 1990, I was 15 years old, and I was a child. Even though the war was about to start, I definitely wasn't ready for it. But I was glad I was able to leave my hometown. Even though, I mean, I love my hometown, I love my people, I love my family. It was a difficult place to grow up for me personally. Uh, we've already said that no one is a prophet in their village. So being different is not beneficial in any environment. Which is why I felt right in place when I was in Asia, living in South Korea, living among complete strangers. I felt right in place because that's how I feel. I feel like a fish out of water in every single environment because I do not belong to any particular group or nationality or religion or sexuality. I refuse to declare myself one way or another, except as Canadian, because I believe that kind of encompasses everything and the rainbow flag. Because that's the only flag that kind of unites us all, or divides us all. Uh, I actually failed physical education in my first year of that college, and only because of the war I was able to continue my education. It was a very difficult school for sure. Our subjects, our entire education cost about $60,000 versus my university degree, which was only $44,000. So you can imagine that we had access to tanks, to anti-aircraft artillery. We lived in the dormitories. Food was given to us, the uniform. We learned how to shoot from every single gun, how to dance, how to play music, how to be officers and gentlemen, how to be soldiers, and how to be individuals who are capable of completely taking care of themselves, their soldiers, and their country. I mean, it was a very, very profound education that we received during those 4 years there. And I excelled in most subjects except in the physical education because the norms given to us were really high. I mean, I remember the 1,600 meters relay in full combat uniform was about 7 minutes. So that's 4 times around the big soccer stadium. It's about 400 meters. So that's 1,600 meters in 7 minutes in, again, full combat uniform. I think I did about 10 minutes. Which is funny because some people who walked, they said, my God, like we walked in like 9 minutes and you cannot even run in less than that. I was not physically fit for sure. The obstacle course, which was going under, going over, jumping, all that jazz with ropes and everything. My goodness, I was definitely not ready for that. And maybe with time, with proper training and everything, I could have somehow done that. But then the best thing that happened to me really was the war. When the war kicked in and we were under siege in the capital city of Croatia, surrounded by snipers, surrounded by people that wanted us out of their country, because Yugoslav army, that used to be the army that covered Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, and Macedonia, disintegrated. So Slovenians didn't want to be part of it, Croatians didn't want to be a part of it. So when Slovenians left, we knew that something was going to happen, and we were next. So we became, an army that was no longer welcome in their country. So all the Croatians, all the Slovenians, Bosnians, they all left. It was mostly Serbs that stayed and me, because I was nobody. They kept telling me, look man, your name is Eldin, you're Muslim. But I'm not, I don't feel like Muslim. What does that mean, to be Muslim? Because Muslim is not a title, it's a way of lifestyle. It's praying 5 times a day, it's not eating certain products, not drinking alcohol, not playing rock and roll, all the things that I like. So I really could not, perhaps it was a mistake on my part to sell my religion for rock and roll. But that's what I was willing to do. And again, my family comes from completely different backgrounds and whatnot, so it was impossible. Nevertheless, during that first year in Zagreb, when everything was perfect, our school organized a marathon race. Here comes the story. So the marathon race was to be held in downtown Zagreb in this beautiful park called Maksimir, and we all got together to go there. There was 4 different years. We were the first year at that time, and everybody had high hopes for me. I had a pair of Reebok sneakers that had a small British flag on them, and my officer saw my sneakers and said, no, you cannot have a British flag on your feet as a member of Yugoslav army. You're going to have to lose those shoes and wear the shoes that we gave you. And the shoes that we were given were sort of like Converse shoes, but my goodness, much lower quality than that. So running in them just causes like all kinds of medical issues. Nevertheless, those are the shoes that I had. They were dark blue with my green socks, dark blue shorts, and a white, what they call wife beater shirt. I don't know why they call it like that, I'm sorry, but it's like one of those white tank top shirts. So I mean, just that look of like all of us in 15-year-olds in those white tank tops and blue shorts, blue sneakers, and dark green socks, showing up to run downtown Zagreb was just funny, because Zagreb is a cosmopolitan city that has an amazing music scene, amazing culture. Like people, walking to those park were cool. They were all cool, and we all looked like we just came from some kind of mountain, like Neanderthals. I always thought I was a cool guy. I played music. I was one of the cool kids. But in the uniform, all that coolness is taken away from you. That's the whole point. Because as a soldier, you're supposed to lose your civilian identity. How else do you go and commit crimes? Because when you go and kill somebody, it's not you that's killing that person, it's a soldier. You become a different entity, which is why uniform creates a certain way of thinking. Once you put on a uniform, you're a security guard, you're a police officer, a firefighter, a soldier. You're no longer yourself. The detachment happens. A very dangerous thing. This is how the atrocities were committed during the war, because it wasn't me, like Shaggy would say, it was a soldier. We showed up in this beautiful park, the 4th year, the 3rd year, the 2nd year, did their thing, and I think the race was supposed to be about 3-4 kilometers or something like that. My goodness, twice as much as the original test, which I failed. So I was really not looking forward to it. But my friend said, man, don't worry about it, we'll walk with you, everything is going to be fine. So we got there together in this beautiful park, and gun was shot, and about 100 of us, from all parts of former Yugoslavia. Only the freshmen started the race. There was about 110 of us, 104, 110. And, we all started running together, but, pretty soon the fastest runners went away, and, slower runners started kind of lagging behind. Soon afterwards, we entered a small forest. And in this forest, my friends would stop by, sit down, light a cigarette, talk to themselves. It was like a typical like rabbit and turtle story. And they told me, "Look, you go. We'll catch up with you. Don't you worry, man." Even though I ran, I thought I was running. People who actually walked were running faster than I did. You know. I mean, people would like literally sit down, have a cigarette, talk to each other, and then go back to running and still catch up with me. After about 2 kilometers, I started chafing. I'm no longer able to even like walk properly. This is way too much because that shorts was way too small. My thighs were touching. It was a ridiculous sight. I was, an overweight child, came from a well-off family. Mind you, most of that weight was a trauma weight. This is what my psychologist told me, because we had so many problems in my home, and I just ate. I ate to kind of console myself. Because as a child I had no access to drugs and alcohol, there was nothing else for me to do. Somehow I made it to the end. And as I was leaving the forest and coming to that clearing that is about that straight, patch of land just before the finish line, I saw my friend Igor, also from Bosnia, who was defiantly just walking, and he was the last one, and everybody was kind of booing him. Boo, come on. The whole, everybody's just waiting for you. You were the last group, so please hurry up. It was like, no, just wait for me. He was walking slowly and just like, hey, look at me, I'm a rebel. And as I saw him, I realized maybe if I go full sprint, maybe I can catch up with him. I did not think about winning or racing. Just I saw him there. I saw heard everybody booing him, and I don't know. I just maybe like some kind of competitive gene, some kind of idea came into my mind. Maybe I can win. I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't a conscious process. I started running. And I mean, Maximir, and there was hundreds of people there. They just saw this like chubby young kid in a really ill-fitting outfit, with blue short, a too tight white tank top, green, socks, and those blue ridiculous sneakers that were just like elephant shoes or clown shoes. Just started running. He's running down the hill, and then it seems like, he's trying to like overrun this guy. And my friend Igor like didn't even know until everybody who was booing started like cheering and clapping. Oh, like, I mean, suddenly the entire park just erupted into this like huge like cacophony of noises. It was like the end, the final game. It was like the most important race of that day. And he turned around to see what was going on, and he saw me running. And then he realized like, okay, shit, I don't want to be the last one now. Now I don't want to be defeated by this guy. Even though he wanted to be the last one, he was, making a bet on it. He's like, fuck this. And he started running as well. So the two of us like just went at it. But because I had the momentum of just inertia of just running down the hill or that patch, I was actually able to overcome him and enter second to last. And my biggest prize was when my French teacher came up and hugged me, and my head ended up on her beautiful bosoms. At that time, even though I was sweating and everything, there was nothing better in my life than a 15-year-old kid coming in second to last and being embraced by my beautiful French teacher. And that's the story of the Maximir Marathon. Uh, Thank you. See you in the next one.